when you're on the cusp of a huge victory for the life, a huge victory to protect children's life, you don't take any of these votes lying down when they've got a path. It might be a narrow path, but they have a path to codifying Roe.
One or two more senators could sweep back the filibuster rule for this purpose, and then women would have a right to choose.
Understand what she just said. One or two more senators then sweep back, remove the filibuster, and then they have 50 votes.
As we sit here today, there are 49 U.S. senators in favor of circumventing the filibuster, getting around the filibuster in order to enact this legislation. Only Joe Manchin from the Democrat side of the ledger is not willing to go there. Jordan, we are within a single vote, and we should not assume that Leader Schumer is not trying to get that vote.
They get to set the rules on the legislative filibuster. If they get 51 votes to change that rule, guess what? No legislative filibuster, and we believe they've got the votes to codify Roe to some extent. It's already passed the House, a very extreme version, a version that would get rid of informed consent, a version that would get rid of any kind of waiting periods, a version that would get rid of any restrictions really at all on abortion. All those restrictions we fought for over decades, it would try and wipe those out. But there's a less radical proposition put forward by two Republican senators, Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins. There could be a deal made to put their legislation in if they support ending the legislative filibuster. So in this 24 hours, folks, do not count what the mainstream media is saying is just a political vote.
A vote on this legislation is not an abstract exercise. This is as urgent and real as it gets. We will vote to protect a woman's right to choose, and every American is going to see which side every senator stands.
You've got to understand the lobbying that we are up against here with Planned Parenthood and the movement we're up against. I mean, they've already got two Republican senators on their side. They don't go as extreme as maybe Planned Parenthood would like, but then that's where I think this gets very sticky very fast. Everybody keeps talking about Sinema and Manchin, and people are ignoring Collins and Murkowski.
You really think Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski are going to vote against their own bill, even if they opposed nuking the filibuster earlier? Jordan, I think that is a pathway that they have. I think Senate Republicans need to have their eyes wide open to it. I think Joe Manchin needs to have his eyes wide open to it. But we just have to shoot our listeners straight. Yes, they have to get to 50 votes twice, but Jordan, they don't have to use the same 50 senators to do it.
They're getting a lot of pressure. Over 113, I think, members of the House have asked the Senate to get rid of the legislative filibuster. There's talk about doing it specifically and maybe trying to say, well, we're only getting rid of the legislative filibuster for abortion rights. They talked about this for voting rights too. Is that a possibility that they try? I mean, they set their own rules. Can they do something narrow while still keeping the broader legislative filibuster intact?
They could say, something that's considered a fundamental right or something that is of imminent importance. Really, whatever they want to set the standard at, Jordan, that they can get 50 votes for, they can do it.
We approach it legislatively, which Stan's office is already doing and will continue to do over the next 24 hours. Our litigation teams are already, listen, I've got the memos. We already have memos in hand, legal memos that are being done on this. We are going to be ready for litigation if necessary. And if legislation passes, it will be. You realize, though, folks, the opinion hasn't even come out yet. That was just a draft that was leaked. So these individuals are that bent on getting their way.
It's already passed the House of Representatives. Joe Biden has said he will sign it. So as Stan said, Chuck Schumer just has to figure out how to get to 51 twice. Once on ending the legislative filibuster, and the second time on codifying one of the two bills that's out there to codify abortion as a federal right. This is all happening tomorrow.
We call this a moment because exactly what they wanted to happen has happened. They leak an opinion. They see the overturning of Roe versus Wade might actually happen. Again, it's a leaked opinion, but that may be the opinion. And then they immediately move for legislation. This has happened in a week, less than a week. They're trying to intimidate judges. They're trying to see if they can get one judge to peel off, maybe. They're trying to get this legislation through or maybe pack the court. But we know they're trying to get the legislation through, and we are working on it, and we're working on litigation if necessary. And this is a moment in time, and it's just 24 hours. It's this legislation issue is over with tomorrow. That's what we expect. I mean, anything could change, but right now it's set for tomorrow.